Alofa everyone, Naunga Māori Sione here. I'd like to welcome you back to Inclusive Talanoa. Once again here with my awesome co-host.
G'day on everyone, Kramer Hofledge here. Welcome back.
And today's awesome guest, we have today in Lee Taniwha. So welcome to Inclusive Talanoa, brother.
Thank you.
And I'll give you an opportunity, man, just to, just give us a bit of context about who Lee Taniwha is, and then we'll fire away on our little easy Talanoa, brother.
Cool. We'll start from the start. Ko Waikato te awa, ko Pirongi te maunga, ko Pirikiriki te marae, ko Waikato Tainui, Mania Putahuki, ngā iwi, ko Lee Taniwha tōku ingoa. I'm Lee. I've been around. I'm actually originally a Otara boy, so raised in the south, and just hard Otara boy. Yeah, it's like, where do you live? Oh, where are you from? Otara.
Home of the brave.
Home of the brave. Yeah. And everyone from Mangere like, Otara's dumb. And I just come back 4s before 5. 4s 5. But Hati Otara boy. I love my community, and just privileged to have the people in the whānau around me and the friends around me that helped me get to where I am.
Yeah,
and I just owe everything to them, and obviously our Lord and Saviour. At the end of the day, without God, man, you got none.
Nice.
I've got to remember that all the time.
You come from a big family, Lee?
Yeah, so I'm actually a Nāngai child. So I was born to obviously my parents.
Yeah.
And I was given to my birth uncle and auntie. So I was born Hāti Māori, raised like a coconut, because the mum I was given to is a Cook Island woman. And she hails from a small island of Mauke.
Yeah.
And so, my mum brought me up like a fob. So it was like, oh man, I can empathise with everyone when they're talking about their island lifestyle. I'm like, yeah.
In terms of hobbies or any activities you like to do, bro?
Yeah. Well, I've always liked doing things. I mean, first and foremost, getting outside is always a big one. So I was blessed enough to get in some equipment funded to help me get around. And, if I'm not on a bus, I'm on my bike. And so I've got a little bike attachment I put onto my manual wheelchair.
Oh.
And I just roll off into a bush, down a bank, wherever finds me. But I've actually gotten, when I was younger, I actually used to play guitar. So I had an accident, and that rendered me useless to play a guitar. And so, I like to make music in my spare time, just to sort of be something different from the day-to-day stuff that I would do, and thinking differently. And then, if not, photography or work. Work.
Yeah. Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I've seen all the mahi you do is quite amazing. But before we get into that, would it be all right if you just share a bit about how your accident occurred?
Yeah. So I was 13. So when I was 13, I went for a swim. So it was just the beginning of summer holidays and the last weekend of the before school went out. And mate, I thought it was a hot ass day. I go for a swim with my cousins because they're my cousins. I was with my favorite cousin. So she was like, "I'm gonna go to the pools. Want to come?" I was like, "Yep." So we took off, went to auntie's house. Had a little bit of a little swim around, and I thought it was a cool idea to be a cool guy and dive into the water, just because nothing ever happens when you dive into water. You just get in the water and come back out. So I took this dive the wrong way. Instead of diving across, I dived down, and I hit my head. I can't recall how I hit my head, if it was my chin or my forehead first. But as soon as I hit the pool floor, I cracked my C4, C5. So it's like 3-4 vertebrae down from your skull, and that instant I couldn't move anything. So I thought I pulled a muscle, because I never pulled a muscle before. So I'm sitting in the water like, man, I pulled my back muscle. Like, wait, does your back muscle stop your feet and your arms? And here I am looking at the surface where the air is, counting like, oh no. First thing I thought was, bro, mum's gonna kill me. That was the first thing. I was like, oh, this is this is dangerous. Then mum's gonna get me. Mum's gonna be angry. And I was in the water, and I couldn't get to the surface because I couldn't move. I was fully just numb, couldn't move anything, and so just sitting there, and all I did was count.
That's pretty buzzy. Eh? Your accident is kind of similar to mine. Eh?
Yeah.
I went with my cousin. It was on the same day after like last school holidays, and then same
Sad
thing in the
story.
water.
Is
But-
that trauma bonding?
But it happened to you quite young at a young age. What was that transition like? You know, going from able to disabled.
Yeah, there's kind of those things there you wonder. The transition was yuck. It was difficult. I was very used to being on my own. I was in a boarding school, so I was used to not being home. So I was used to just doing normal things on my own. And to have that flip on its head in an instant, and then you're like sitting there expecting people to help wash you, turn you, roll you, feed you. Man, that was hard. I can't imagine. Everyone faces it differently, and I definitely didn't find how to manage that at all. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't do it. It was really hard for me.
Yeah.
I struggled heaps with trying to really understand where I fit in the world after that. Because before you were like, oh, I can do whatever. I can go anywhere at any time because I can do it myself. Now you can't go anywhere, not at any time. Let alone that's not even including like the physical boundaries that you face when you're outside. Like I found it hard, and my whole teen years, I can say it now. I just didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
I literally, if I could have taught myself, I would have done it. But I knew I didn't have any assurances that if I tried, I could have finished it. Not a nice thing to say, but the reality is what it is. And it was never my plan to end up in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
With all these issues, and the fact that it came on my front door, and that was my only option. It's like, mate, I struggled. You put a brave face on because it's not anyone else's burden to carry but yours. So when people come in, I didn't like people coming in and being sympathetic.
Yeah.
And be like, oh man, it must be hard for you. Oh, it's like, cool, I get that already. I already understand it's hard, but you don't have to come and like reassure me. It's okay. I got this. It's just allow me to be with you, and if I need to be vulnerable, allow me to be there. And I found that was easiest. Like the empathetic conversations I was looking for came easiest from the guys that have been through it.
Yeah.
And so luckily I was very blessed to have a lot of the boys that were in the hospital roughly around the same time I was.
Yeah.
Kramer being one after me, and I had a few other boys that I owe a lot to, just because when I was struggling, I'll go visit their house. I know I could get in their house, and then like I know I could just kick it around there, and I know I could empty my catheter bag, and because we've all got the same issues,
It's
nice to start from the same place.
Is that one of the worst things for you guys to hear from being an able person, like to say like, nah, I know what you mean?
Yeah, I find that's quite disingenuous.
Yeah.
Because you're not in the same space. Like if you had gone through an injury, exact injury, yeah. But if you hadn't had an injury, but you've had a broken shoulder, like I had a conversation one time. There was like, I had a broken shoulder. You can do your neck, bro. Your neck will be fine. I did that with my shoulders. Like, I appreciate how sincere you are, but I really don't like how you're trying to relate my issues to your issues when they're totally different. Like, you're playing soccer. I'm sitting there trying to play basketball. Like, bro, it's a different story, man. And so it depends, like, person to person, trauma is trauma.
Yep.
You do experience the same things in different aspects, but there are some things you don't try and measure up with. Shoulder's not a neck. But, you take it for what it is, and the sincerity was there. So it's like, oh, yeah. So sometimes it's people trying to, those are moments where people don't really click.
Yeah.
And they're trying to be helpful and sincere, but you're saying the wrong thing, you just don't do it, just appreciate the person and be like, cool. It must be hard, like
I find it, as Islanders, as Māori Islanders, that like anything wrong you do, you know what you're gonna get. You just listening to that, like you were injured, you had a funny feeling, like man, this could be quite bad, but you knew that like what was going to be coming from your mum was probably going to be even worse.
Yeah.
And it's that thinking, like it's like, oh no, man, what are they going to do? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
I always get that from people who go, oh, I broke my leg and I was in a wheelchair for for this certain amount of time, and then they think it relates straight to being on a power
It's
chair.
not, the comparison is different, man. It's like popping a tire versus blowing an engine. Like you can get a new tire simply. You have to get a whole new engine done. You know, you do everything. It's a totally different job.
What were the mechanisms, bro, that you use? Like you would have been, I know you were in a bit of a low point for a while. Like, did family help you out, or help you get through that, or someone you sort of trusted?
It was I noticed I started getting certain things from different people.
Yeah.
And I knew what I was getting from people. Yeah. And not in a bad sense, though. You know, I could approach one of my friends and be like, "Cool, I can wholeheartedly open up about everything I'm worried about."
Yeah.
And some people you go, "Oh, maybe not," but I can wholeheartedly open about future plans that I have with this person.
Yeah.
You know, with everyone, you have everyone's got different skill sets, and identifying them in each different person was key.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it in a way you use them, but you just know where their strengths lay. Yeah. And when you have those conversations, you know where you could go with them. And so it made me a little bit more intentional about who I dealt with and how I communicated with certain people.
Yeah.
I think in a sense, it kind of worked out that way.
Yeah.
And but my family, we're ruthless. Like you'd see us out, and then people go, "Oh, was that not a bit much?" Trying to like we'll be out somewhere. And my uncle's the worst because he's inappropriate to the days, and so you come in and like, "Hey boy, stand up and shake my hand." I'm like, oh, and everyone's like, "What the?" They're like, "Oh, sorry, that's my uncle. This is normal." They're like, "Really? That's really, really inappropriate." I'm like, where? Not in my family. My family are ruthless. It gets worse. That's very tame. But like, you know, I was very lucky to have family dynamics that worked in that way.
Yeah.
And my family are very loving, but they're very rough when they need to be, and it's great. You know, in some senses, it kind of helped me in a lot of spaces.
Yeah.
And having the interaction socially with them was mean. You know.
You know, just going back on your uncle, you know, telling funny stories like that, like for young kids, because you know, my nieces and nephew, they come up to me and they ask her, "Oh, can you stand? What's wrong? Why are you in the chair?" I always just make up a funny story, like, you know, "Oh, I fought a shark and I ended up in the chair," or "I fought a tank and lost." Have you ever told any stories like that with the young
mate, yeah, heaps of them, man. I always did the old, like, you know, when mum counts to 5, when mum's like 1, yeah. So they like, why? What happens? Like, this is what happens. When mum gets to 5, it's over. You better do the dishes. They're like, really? Like, yeah. You have to. If you don't do it, man, you're gonna end up in a wheelchair like me. And they're like, oh my gosh. But going from there, like I have, I may as well bring that out. I got 3 stories. Yeah. So whenever kids ask, that's one of them. Whenever it's a beautiful woman, and they're like, oh man, you know, like they're like, oh, what happened to you? Oh man, it was a real rough day that day because I dived in front of an old lady when she was just about to get hit by the bus, and I got hit by the bus and I took the brunt. But the old lady survived, but I just ended up in a wheelchair. And so that's the second story.
Hey.
The third story is when someone actually, like, you know, actually they're genuine about their question, then I'll give them the real story.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 stories I pack in and you know, embellish them whenever you need to, depending on the eye color and the hair color.
I think I need to use that second story sometime.
Man. Oh, man, it was a treat. Like, wow.
I learned from Bonnie it's good to go clubbing because you know the girls use you as a stool and you get your ends there.
Oh, so is that the aim of clubbing these days? Is become furniture?
Oh no! It was one of the moves I heard apparently.
Oh mate,
I love hearing the banter, but it's how you still see a lot of laughter and sort of the happy side to life, and nothing holds you back, bro.
Yeah. I've kind of been taught that the wheel of focus goes, energy flows.
Yeah.
So if you lean into the full or half full cup,
yeah,
it'll stay half full. If it's a half empty cup, it'll stay half empty. So whatever way you lean into it, it's sort of like it sets your tone.
Yeah. And we're hearing too. I think you've, in terms of like your work, I think you may be doing some business for yourself, like, or setting up.
Yeah.
How's that going, bro?
Pretty cool. So I've been operating my own caregiving company. And this is, I think, 14 14th month.
Yeah.
I've got about 100 staff
Hey.
and 23 clients. And so in that, 52-week run, we've accumulated that many people. And so it's been everything's just been a massive blessing. Finding people that were just amazing, you know. Like we had the idea, but we know it had no sort of steam behind it unless you had a proper engine. And so we had some real good luck finding some amazing people.
Yeah.
And now my team's I've got a team of it's a few of us, 7. Oh, geez, 7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of your company, and like, you know, what was the inspiration of actually setting it up? And
So Care Upfront is my company name. So
I like that.
Care Upfront came because I wasn't bothered calling working on any other names. It was like, what's the word? Care. Okay, cool. What's another word we want? Upfront. Cool. That's done. No more discussion. That's it. That was exactly how we named it. Like Care Upfront. Look, they won't know us for our name. They'll know us for our taste, you know. And so the flavor that we got is why we exist. And so it's actually stemmed from in part this guy. So I had a lot to do with this guy.
Yeah.
And so seeing not only Kramer, but a lot of the boys have different funding streams. So
Yeah.
we have in spinal cord injury, you have one of 3, majority if you're from out of NZ. So you've got insurance, and then you've got ACC, and then you've got Ministry of Health. So I cover the ACC clientele. And the reason why it started was because I didn't like seeing what people in Kramer's situation that have the same needs that I have nothing. And so the reason why it started was because obviously our people needed to be taken care of, and to a better standard than what's out there right now. It's rubbish. People are getting the worst treatment you could get, and so it was like, look, if no one's going to make an effort, look, I'll do it. And so I had conversations with a few guys, and so 2 of the guys jumped on with me when we started, and it was all 3 of us, and we just hammered out at this idea, and we're just lucky enough to have good fortune to find amazing people to make things work. But my intent with Care Upfront was actually to create a funding pool, so that we could apply that to people that are in Kramer's space. So the ministry funded guys that maybe they can't get any funding for A, B, and C. I have to still choose what funding I'm wanting to support them in, but it's something that it still could help in some way. So the reason why it started was obviously to look after our people, but to actually look after our people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it started because of that idea.
So when we're talking, are we talking like everybody that's in the same situation you guys, or multi PIs?
So same situation. So any spinal, because my background is in spinal. I mean, it's I breathe it, live it. It's everyday life, right? So spinal specific. So people that have come through with spinal cord injuries, we're there to help them, service them. The higher complex guys. That's what my company is here for, to help support these guys when they come through. They go home, and the worst thing you want to do is get back home and not have care, and have people looking after you. I've heard too many stories of people going home fresh after their injury, and you've had 6 weeks to learn how to relive, and you go home and no one's there to help you get up out of your bed. That's not good enough. And all these companies are putting their hands up, saying, "Yeah, we've got this," and they drop the ball on day one. That's just not right. And these are people that I call my peers, my brothers, my sisters, and they all get left for dead. That's not good enough for me. So when I hear that, I'm just like, mate, if these big companies don't want to do it, I'll come and knock on the door and take them from them. If they're not going to look after them.
Definitely feeling the need there, brother, for us. Not only got your own business, but if I remember correctly, you're good at graphic photography, but did you have a start in that Humans of South Auckland thing on Facebook where you're one of you actually set it up, eh?
I helped, so the initial idea was from one of the amazing sisters named Jasmine, at that time Jazz McLean, and she started the idea of creating stories from it was actually inspired from her losing one of her students who I think she had unalived herself And so at that stage, she was like, look, she needed to express, that student needed to express something, and there wasn't a community. So it stemmed from that idea. I found out about it, approached her and was like, hey, can we tee up? I'm like, can I learn a little bit? And I want to help. And yeah, we met up in Manurewa, had a yarn, and she was like, you can help? I'm like, what? I'm a graphic designer, I can do whatever you want. So we just started. And so Humans of South Auckland took off, and I think that was back in 2014. 2014? Jesus, a long time ago. And yeah, what our main premise was to promote hope and pride within the South Auckland community. And so each week we would have stories of South Aucklanders be told that just promoted, that real sense of community and empowerment. So we could really change what the media was driving for us. Because if you associate anything with South Auckland, people say crime, gangs, Marys, coconuts. This is it's all the stuff that you don't want. And we all know, as being South Aucklanders, that there's a huge untapped potential of skills and just talent here. Yet, if that's the environment we see that we're in, what do we expect? We just assume it's going to be bad. And so that's where the Humans of South Auckland came out. And I was more just privileged to be there. It was a lot of work, but the team did amazing, and we had real good fortune. Having amazing people approach us and join in, because mate, without them, nothing happened.
Right place, right time, doing all this work, and it's good to hear you're a proud South Aucklander.
Yeah, I'm hearty, man. I love South Auckland. Where are you moving to? Further down South Auckland. Really? I don't want to leave this place. Why? Oh, 'cause it's mean. Never in Hamptons. Nah.
When you were doing, I was picking up there, fresh injuries, going home. Did you ever do the functional adaptive movement programs at the spinal?
The FAM stuff, no, I didn't. I do know the squad, but I haven't done it because I was busy. So anyone else is like, I'm real busy tonight. It's like Wednesday nights. Oh man, every Wednesday night I'm real busy.
Yeah.
Come do it. No, my back today. My back. So the fam stuff, they do some real cool stuff, and it's good to see some of the guys that can create some sense of community, because that's what really changes the direction and trajectory of your journey. Is being surrounded by some people that have done some cool stuff, and you don't get that mixing and mingling in everyday life until you have a group. And so that's one great thing that FAM has. They've created community. At the end of the day, community is what saves all of us.
And sounds like too, you have been a huge advocate for the disability families out there. You sit on probably a few of the committees. I'm not sure, maybe some other boards as well. How are you finding with understanding, maybe being inclusive with our disability families and projects or anything that they're doing?
Yeah, it's. I mean, the heart's there, and everywhere that I've seen. The heart and the intent is there. The only thing is, heart and intent always needs money.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna lie. I hear it all the time. It's like, we're funding this, funding that, and the ideas and the things that people put forward are great, but then it comes back down to that old chestnut. And it's like, due to funding.
Yeah. Do you think that we're getting disability families aren't really getting first choice, where it's an afterthought?
Depends on which aspect you're talking about. So if we're talking about the social system, to a degree, almost.
Yeah.
If we're talking about transport system, that's different.
Yeah.
And then talk about community access, as in physical access, that's a no.
Yeah.
There's slow improvements, but we are not top of the agenda. We're getting closer.
Yeah.
But I think it's the last few years I've seen the change and the improvement in people wanting to make things happen.
Yeah.
But I can't say to what degree that's actually improved.
Yeah.
And how much it's improved.
Definitely right there. Change is happening, but it's moving at a snail pace, and But come back 30 years, we've come a long way since then, and still a long way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. There's a lot there to be done, but I think a lot of it is the hard thing is getting right people in the space that aren't burnt out and that have the ability to articulate properly. So you have people that come in and you have spaces where their voices are wanted, yet those people come in and they just emotionally dump. We're not there to emotionally dump, we're there to solve. And then give options and give questions, and try to find ways of solving things. But people come in with an emotional sort of standpoint, which is you got to kind of check that at the door. And it doesn't get conversations or discussions going anywhere.
Hey, bro. Man, thank you. Like huge insight and understanding, and even just the banter, the laugh that you actually brought onto the show, bro. Just really thankful we had the opportunity. I know this could probably carry on a bit more. In terms of just give you the chance to be able to be able to support our families out there going through the same issues, or even just maybe just word of encouragement for them.
Oh, word of encouragement. I don't know. There's too many words. It could be a song. It could be a story.
Sing away, brother.
It could be a movie. I guess the I don't know if I seem like I was going through the same thing, but community is key. I've always found that solved a lot of things in my head and a lot of issues that I've had. Community is where you have the environment for people to be vulnerable. Community is a space where you've got untapped talent, and community is a space where you can connect and network. And in those networking connections, you get information that can help you understand the system, understand how to live your life, understand how to make things better. I'd say if you have community, you're going in the right direction and at least finding more. Without community, isolation is probably going to make it a lot harder for any of this. So if anyone is sort of wanting that encouragement, it's like try to find a community to be tapped into. At some point they will cross paths with other communities, and that's where the gold nuggets lay.
Thank you very much, Lee. In terms of the bromance I've been seeing here, but Creamer, last thoughts, bro?
Nah, bro. Just thank you for coming on and really appreciate you. And not only me, but you supported a lot of us who gone through spinal cord injuries. So, thank you for that, and thank you for filling a lot of the gaps that are missing for us.
Once again, I'd like to thank Lee for coming on to our show. Care up front.
Care up front.
So we'd be able to. Website. Have you got a website for this?
Just launched today.
Nice.
Just up. So we're up there.
We'll have those details down, as well as anything around the navigating the disability organisations with Creamer. But thank you for listening to our Talanoa on Inclusive Talanoa. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Kia ora.